Hello again, everybody, to another episode of Spanish Week. This week we're going to talk about.
Ghosts.
Ooh, that sounds scary, Francisco.
Well, it's
Ooh,
almost Halloween, so might as well talk about ghosts in Spain.
okay, let's cheer up a little bit the ambience before we start talking about this creepy thing.
Let's, let's get some music.
So, well, everybody, yes, we're going to talk this week about that topic that we thought about ghosts in Spain. I mean, ghosts in Spanish is fantasmas, but it could be used in slang word to someone that is a fool, that is, you know, like a good British would say, taking the piece out of you, like trying
Yes.
to fool you, and all that kind of thing. It's like, you're a phantasma, you're a ghost, oh, just leave me alone, right? It's this kind of thing. But there are many legends, urban legends, some of them regarding the literature, some of them that they are attached to some places, and the urban legends has been saying for years and years and generations that here in this week in the medieval times, in this corner is the anniversary of killing of somebody, and it said that the ghost is riding the horse and it's being hurt, and people that can swear, all those kind of tales. San Francisco, I assume that happens also where you live, isn't it?
I mean, all around Spain, we do have all of these traditions of ghosts and goblins and all of these things. What happens is that we do have a huge tradition of, I don't want to just say ghosts, but spectral appearances. If we go to one of the most famous one, the first appearance of the Holy Mary was here in Spain.
Oh,
Well, what about El Pilar de Zaragoza?
that's right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Pilar de Zaragoza. We're
Yeah.
talking 40 years after, uh, not after Christ, after year zero, so 40 years
Mm-hmm.
after.
Yeah.
So the thing is that the Holy Mary is still alive and she appears to St. James here in Spain.
Yeah.
So, from the very, very first steps of Christianity here in the peninsula, we do have a heavenly appearance.
Yeah, I mean, the legend says that, correct me if I'm wrong, Francisco, you are the one who are more into these themes, religious themes, that St. James, it was a little bit discouraged about how he was spreading the word of Jesus all over. And when he reached the river and he was just to throw a towel in his mission that he was, commanded to do. Just apparently, is Our Lady is when she still alive appeared to him on top of a kind of a. Uh, People say it was a rock. People say it was a column, but the column per se, whether if it was a rock with the shape of a column or whatever, in Spanish we call it pilar. And Pilar now is a lady's name, and it's Our Lady of Pilar. And exactly at that place is where today one of the most beautiful basilicas in Spain is built, which is the Basilica of Our Lady of Pilar. Is that right?
There we go. That is one of the most important heavenly appearances that we've had. But hey,
Hmm.
it's not the only one. We also remember in the 1970s, Las Caras de Belmez.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh,
So,
whoa.
what was this? This was on a
Yeah.
little town called Belmez, Belmez. There was on a wall, there was some faces coming out of the humidity. It was kind of strange, but they really look like faces. Some of them look like the faces of Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
So they tried to cover it, saying, no, 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 but they appeared again. They covered it, they appeared again. They were appearing non-stop. The faces of Belmez. It's a huge, huge, huge belief. Is it a holy appearance? We don't know. It's not being recognized by the Vatican,
Vatican?
but it is one of those important things,
Hmm.
right?
That
Because
was
when
in
we
a
talk,
private home, right?
it was in a private home. Some people say it was a scam. Some people, no, we never knew.
Who
We will
knows?
never know.
Yeah.
if we talk, let's talk about a little bit more mundane, not holy ghosts. Uh, Here in Spain, the tradition is huge, and we, I don't know, but I think we live pretty close with death in our tradition, and there's a lot of traditions for death, and we take for granted that ghosts are around here. So we do have a lot of beliefs regarding ghosts. For example, one of the big traditions in Spain says that if you feel the presence of somebody in your house, what you need to do is get a glass of water by your bed, and that will, clean water will prevent from the ghost. There you go. You have a glass of water.
Have a glass of water here just in case.
But just in case they come by, it's like it will go
So,
away.
would you please repeat again what they have to do?
Just leave a glass of water on your nightstand, and that will prevent from the ghost getting into you. Hey,
Hmm.
well, and Jorge, you're 25% gypsy. You do guys have huge superstitions and all of this. Obviously, in the gypsy world here in Spain, we do have a lot of traditions related with death and the power of death and the spirits going on and back and forth.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
I don't know if it's the same here in the north of Spain, our gypsies, when they think there's some spirits. If the, we live in good and bad spirits, the good ones you want to keep them by you, but the bad ones you want them to go away. So what they do is they here in Pamplona, they burn rosemary and they go all around your house with a bad little, you know, piece of dry rosemary, and they put the smoke, and
Yeah,
that
like a little,
makes,
let's say, bouquet of rosemary. You burn it, and then when it just the fire just go out, just the smoke that comes out, you smoke your house,
yeah. So
just
it's
like that.
an
I mean,
exorcism.
there is many variations of that. There are people that say if you do that with laurel, bay
Okay,
leaves
bay
as
leaf.
well, or cinnamon sticks as well, and then you have to blow it on the air, open air. Okay, so just to send the bad spirits away. Yeah, the tradition and the superstition plays a big important role in this ghost section that we're talking about
Gross. It's
today.
Halloween section. So, Jorge, do we have any famous ghost sightings in Spain? Places where we know there are ghosts?
Yeah, well, yeah, there are several, and we can talk about all around Spain. But here in Madrid, there's a couple of places. One is what today is the House of America. Okay,
Okay.
and that place is a palace right in the not the royal palace. Okay, it's a private, it was a private palace, but now it's so big that it's called the House of America. And they say that people who believes in those kind of things and they go finding or hunting these kind of spirits, call it like
Hmm.
that. And those that are psychic, that they are extremely sensitive, they say when they put their hands in their walls, it's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't be here. I had to go and poof, and they disappear. But the most famous one that is bringing some kind of, I would say, external problems is in one of the three big museums in Madrid, which is the Queen Sofia Arts Center.
What? There's ghosts in the Queen Sofia Museum?
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It's a troublemaker.
Um, I mean, that museum is known for its world famous art, but then say that it's also home to something other than Picasso and Dali's ghosts. Before that, it was a museum. The building was a hospital, and we have to date back to the 16th century. And its history has it is as dark as you can expect. People claim to hear whispers, screams, footsteps in empty hallways. One of the creepiest stories involves a security guard who allegedly quit after witnessing objects moving on their own and hearing voices in the dead of night. Some visitors have even reported feelings like someone was watching them when they were completely alone in one of the halls. Francisco, I have to tell you, in one of my groups not so long ago, and this is a true story, seriously, there was a couple with me, And then after the visit, I mean, I do mention very briefly, about the history of the hospital, the morgue underneath, in the basement. And when we were leaving the hospital, yeah,
The
he just
hospital, not the
approached
museum.
me, the former hospital, thank you, yeah, museum. He just approached me and said, Jorge, before entering the building, before you said a word about these legends of the building, um, I was very uncomfortable coming here. Just entering the building, it was like something wrong here. For those who don't know the museum has the former hospital complex plus a new addition that it was in the early 2000s by
Mm.
the architect Jan Nouvel. So now you can enter both ways, the original entrance of the building or the through the new part. New, I mean, the extension, right? So we
Mhm.
enter that way, which is much easier, not so crowded as the other part. And then once we were in the structure, crossing into the old section, he just said to me that he had like a kind of a shiver going down his spine. And then he confessed to me that he's I'm not gonna say his name, I know where from, but he's a very reputed psychic that helps the police, local sheriff, to those crimes that they are unsolved, cold cases, etc., etc. So he was very serious, and he even gave me a card, which I keep it here somewhere, So he told me that in that place, seriously, many
There's something.
many things happened regarding when it was a hospital, the mental institution that it was. True, false. Hey, you know,
We never know.
you never know.
Wow. Now I get goosebumps. I don't want to go to the Queen Museum. It's Queen Sophia. It's like, yay, scary.
Now is your turn. Now, do we have anything related to literature, Francisco?
Oh gosh, yes. Here in Spain, we do have probably the most famous ghost book that we have in Spain. It is Don Juan Tenorio.
Oh yeah.
Don Juan. It's based in Seville. There's a big conversation between a dead person and him. Uh, for our listeners, it has to do with it's the precursor of the opera Don Giovanni. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is a conversation with death and all of that and guilt. And so in our literature, it is quite present. Right? We do have, especially this, Don Juan, it is the book that we talk about death, it talks about ghosts, and it's a play that we represented on All Saints Day by tradition, the day
Mm-hmm.
after Halloween. It is in all the theater, many theaters around Spain. We
All
represented Don
Saints
Juan.
Day is November the 1st, right?
Okay. Mhm.
Do not
November.
confuse it with the days of the dead, of the deaths,
Mhm.
Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, which is November the 2nd.
All right. So it's November 1st. We
Mm-hmm.
do play in many, 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 many theaters around because it's the book, it's the play that you talk about death and ghosts. It
Mm.
is the play that is portrayed in many, 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 many theaters. And of course, theaters, let's say the Phantom of the Opera, it's uh, theaters have a special energy. And in some theaters, they say that when this play is being portrayed, strange things happen. I mean, the lights go down or there are candles that have to be lit, but suddenly they're lit already. So it's well, wiki things that when you read the Don Juan, you might be something might happen. So Jorge, any other famous ghosts around Spain?
Yes, there is. There is so many. If we get out of Madrid, um, let's go to the south. Let's go to the province of Jaén, which is in the north of Andalusia. There is a ghost of a nun in a parador of
Oh God,
Jaén.
come on, you're gonna go sleeping in a parador. There's gonna be a nun chasing you. Hell no.
Well, that didn't sound very well, a nun chasing you. No,
Oh,
no.
gives me the creeps.
No, but we all know that Spain is full of stunning hotels. old hotels in the sense of old buildings that they've been reconverted into paradores, right? Into
Mhm.
parador. We all know that. This parador, the one in Jaén, is a former castle turned into a hotel, and it is said to be haunted by a ghostly nun. According to the legend, she fell in love with a soldier and was killed for breaking her vows. Guests staying in room 22 have reported feeling an invisible presence, sudden cold drafts, and hearing sobs in the middle of the night. The hotel embraces the haunted reputation, so if you're into ghost hunting, this might be the perfect place for you to spend the night.
Not for me.
If you dare, I was gonna say that.
Mm, you ain't gonna find me there. It's like, I'm a big coward. I no, 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 no. Jorge, you has taken us out of Madrid, but there's one place that you need to talk about, Jorge, in Madrid, which is a house with 7 chimneys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, woo!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah. How you know about that? Oh my
It's one of the
goodness.
famous ones.
Yeah. Okay. This is an old mansion in Madrid that has been around since the 16th century, and its God story is very classic. I mean, it's a classic. When you walk around and you see the place, you have to mention it, whether you like it or not. And the legend says that there is a woman named Elena, and that she was the mistress of King Philip the second of the Habsburgs, and she lived there. When she mysteriously died, her body vanished completely, and rumors spread that she was murdered. Soon after, people started reporting seeing a ghostly woman in black wandering the roofs at night, weeping. Some say she's still looking for justice. Others believe she's searching for her lost lover. Anyway, if you're walking near the building at night and see a shadow moving on the rooftop, you might want to pick up the place. The pace, not the place, the pace. Yeah, it's a word I always confuse. So now you know.
Okay. I would carry a glass of water with me all along, all night. It's like, gotta go to the bathroom with a glass of water just in case. I'm
So,
a big
Francisco, I just want to mention now one which is has a very sad background.
Mhm.
Okay, and this is related to the Spanish Civil War. You
Oh,
probably heard about the town of Belchite.
yes. The
Yeah,
killings of Belchite.
yeah, it was a very, very
Sad episode.
sad episode of Spanish Civil War. And anyway, that's how it starts a series that it is in YouTube called the Spanish Civil War. If guys you out there wanna watch it in YouTube, just type the Spanish Civil War, and it's a series of 6 chapters. And chapter number 1 gives you a very good intro and what it got us into the um, that war, and then explains the entire thing. But anyway, this is actually the thing for those ghost hunters is called the specter of Belchite. It's in the town near the town of Zaragoza, so it's from Madrid. It's northeast, halfway to Barcelona, and it's not just a ghost story. It's a real life ghost town. The original village was destroyed during the Spanish Civil War. It was in 1937, and instead of rebuilding it, Franco, as usual, left the ruins standing as a reminder of war. Can you believe that? Today, the abandoned streets and crumbling buildings are filled with creepy silence. Visitors claim to hear phantom gunshots, distant cries, and even ghostly voices calling out in the wind. Actually, paranormal investigators have visited the site multiple times, and some claims they have recorded unexplained sounds and shadowy figures wandering through the ruins. What do you think about that, Francisco?
Well, it was a town that there was way too much destruction, too much pain. So I believe in energies. I believe in ghosts. Put it whatever. So to me, it's one of those places that the energy in that place it's
Hmm.
very
Yeah.
creepy. It's very sad. It's very one of those places that's empty. You go there and you come out like you're totally destroyed, totally like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah. I mean, it's how can I put this in words that doesn't make any offense to anyone? I mean, the Spanish Civil War was there were
Horrible.
families totally divided by that war, and there was a big battle that confronted both sides of the war. Okay, so those who started the war or proclaimed the war to the government elected in democratic elections, and those who were in the other side. Anyway, um,
It
it's
was
a place that is there, has been remained abandoned. It's been they, as I said, paranormal hunters that they go there often and they see that they have left the place exactly as it was the last day was taken by the nationals, Franco's forces, and yeah, it's a kind of a culturally okay, it's part of the past. Should it be totally demolished and erased off the map? Probably keeping it there and leaving it as a reminder of what a war can be could be in a way a good thing, but it's not a nice cup of tea.
no, it's not a nice cup of tea, as you
No,
say.
no.
But yes, I do believe there are ghosts or still souls finding their
Mm.
way wherever they have to go. So it's yeah, it's a horrible, horrible place.
Do you have any other?
Well, what about personal? Have you ever seen a ghost?
You go first. You go
I go
first.
first. I gotta say yes. You might think I'm crazy or I'm not
No,
crazy.
not at all. Not at all.
So it was a nice ghost. It was a nice, beautiful, beautiful visit. Where it will happen when we had our first baby, our daughter, our oldest
Mm-hmm.
daughter. This is 25, 24 years ago. So we were in the hospital in Spain. You have to stay in the hospital for 2 or 3 days, and then we came home. We came home, and here we put the cradle by our bed. We went to bed. We went to sleep. The baby was sleeping. We fell asleep, and suddenly, I felt somebody coming in the room. It was my grandma, who had already died 15, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, hi, grandma. So good to see you." It was like cool to see her. So she came in the room. She went to the cradle. She looked at the baby. She looked at me. She smiled and she said, "She's going to be okay." And she left. So to me, it's a ghost, a presence, something that I treasure, that I loved feeling her. It's, your grandma has gone and suddenly you get to see her one more time. I don't know if it was a ghost or not, if it was just what I wanted to feel, but to me, she was real. She was there. She came to bless my baby, and I was the happiest person in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a sweet story.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you? Do you have any ghost stories?
Actually, I have to, and both of them, I have to admit, I never saw them. I felt them, and one of them, I felt the physical presence by me. The first one was many, many years ago. I was very, very young, very young. When I came back from the UK, as everybody knows, if you've been following us in this podcast, after some time living there, I moved back down to Malaga, but not to my mom's, just to live on my own, right? And I was living in what today is a very touristic resort called Torremolinos. And one night I went out, and I was young. I was very immature at that time. I still am nowadays,
Immature.
But no, it was I was even more in those days when you are in the, let's say, second half of your 20s, and you are experiences things, especially when you are living the night.
Yeah, okay.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, right? So one day I woke up, and I remember the day was very cloudy. My bedroom in the apartment I used to live in that time, it was in an interior of a well, so it was kind of darkish. Okay, even at daytime. I mean, the salon and the rest of the apartment was totally outdoors and plenty of light, but the bedroom was dark-ish. So, what happened? I remember that I woke up totally, totally woke up. Okay, and I was there in bed, just lying. It was like about, I don't know, maybe 10:30 or 11 in the morning. Yes, I mean, I woke up that late. So I turned the light on. Do you remember those lamps on your nightstand, old fashioned, that had a little chain that you had to
Yep.
pull it down
Hmm.
to turn it on or off? Okay, so I turned the light on and it was like click, click. And then when you release the chain was moving a little bit until it stops. So I did that. And then suddenly I heard, boy, get out of here in Spanish. And I was
Oh.
like, just looking for one side, not moving at all. You know, I had the shivers in my back and my spine. And then suddenly, like about half a second later, I heard those words. I looked to my left where the nightstand was, and the chain of that light was moving. I was already like about 5 minutes awake. I swear, right? So it wasn't that I turned the light on and then I heard the words. No, it was like 5 minutes awake, and I was just thinking, oh, what I'm going to do today. Suddenly I hear, boy, get out of here. And I heard and I saw the chain just moving. And then I realized, I mean, my dad passed many years ago because he passed when I was 12.
Mhm.
And I could have been like about 27, 28 years at the time. And then it was, I could swear it was my dad's voice.
Wow.
You know what? I don't know if it was a premonition or whatever. Like about 4 or 5 months after that, life took me out of Torremolinos, and that's when I arrived to Madrid. Okay? So,
Well, it was your dad telling you, get out of Torremolinos,
get
go to
out
Madrid.
somewhere. That's right. Yeah.
And ooh. So those are the cool visits. I mean,
I
I've never
guess
encountered a bad ghost. So
I
hey.
still get the goosebumps when I think about it. And the second one, Francisco, you're gonna say I'm full, but I don't know, when you have a routine and you do it every single day, and then you just are used to something. Uh, I mean, it just come out of you not naturally, but as if it is inertia. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. So before my mom passed away, I used to call her every single day. Absolutely every single day, even just to say hello, how are you doing, blah blah. She had Alzheimer's, but she never on the phone. She knew at the time that I was calling her that it was me, so the phone was by her at her home in Malaga. So she used to pick up the phone, and sometimes my sister, who took care of her for some time, pick it up and then pass it on to my mother, etc., etc. But then my mom, well, she passed away eventually. And then one day, just after 3 or 4 days after she was buried, I just came home. And I remember that I was doing my things here at home. And then I just picked up the phone and I called her just by inertia.
Mhm.
Just by inertia. The phone, I was the one when my mom was there at the hospital in her last hours, taking care of the lights contract that you have with the electricity company, just to, not
Close
because of
everything
the
down.
money, just not to pay anything else because there's nobody living in my mom's. So I called the telephone company, say, hey, we don't want this number anymore. This is the thing, etc., etc. So everybody understood. Everybody was very cooperative, but I called that number. So that number, my mom's number, I'm getting a bit emotional now. I called it, and like about 3 or 4 rings after, I just laughed at myself saying, how fool I am. She's not here. Why am I calling her? But then when I was just because I was calling from my landline at home, not the
Okay.
cell phone, right? It was a few years ago. So when I was putting down the headset, I just heard a hello. And then I went, hello, silence. I said, hello, who's there? Silence. Nobody was talking about it.
Uh,
No one talking about anything else. So I just simply started to cry and hung up. And I said, well, probably the number has been assigned to somebody else. So I called the phone company just to make sure that uh, that phone wasn't working, or I wanted to know if it was assigned to somebody else. So I just called the phone company and I said, look, I just called to certify that this number is not operative any longer. Would you please
Make sure.
reconfirm that to me? And the lady at the other end of the phone from the phone company said, no, no, that number right now is not operative any longer. Whenever we just delete a number, it's inoperative for 6 months. And then I said, well, thank you. What do you
Well,
think?
it's your mom
I
for
don't
sure.
know. I don't
I
know.
believe in those things. So probably was your
You
mom.
do?
I do. Why not?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
But
well, I think it's beautiful. I mean, yes, it gives me goosebumps. Oh my God. But I think it's beautiful. And I don't know. Thanks for sharing it. I think it's
Mm,
fantastic.
no, you're welcome. And Francisco, there is another thing related to arts that is also what a coincidence that not so long ago it happened. Have you heard about the fire that happened like about maybe 20 years ago to the Opera House in Barcelona?
Hmm.
All right, the Opera House is called the Liceu,
It's the one that
Liceu,
it's
Liceu
on the
Theater
Rambla, right?
on the Ramblas. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's on the Ramblas. Is if you walk down the Ramblas towards the water, it's on the right hand side halfway. Okay,
Hmm.
and it's called the Wailing Woman of Barcelona's Liceus Theater, the opera house. It's one of the most famous opera houses in Spain. It's the big theater of Liceu, that's the name of it. And it has a very dark past. The theater has burned down multiple times, and some people believe it's cursed. The most famous ghostly resident is the spirit of a woman who supposedly died in one of the fires. The audience members and staff have reported hearing a woman sobbing backstage, and some say they've even seen her wandering the balconies, up to the point that some performers refuse to be alone in certain areas of the theater, fearing a kind of a brush with the unknown. So you think, imagine.
Well, it's Halloween. Everything can happen.
Yeah, everything happens. That's right. That's
So,
right. Yeah.
I mean, I love this topic, which is scares the hell out of me, but it's like one of these things that you're very attracted to. It's like, "Yeah, I'm afraid, but let's talk about it."
Yeah.
I love it. So, to our listeners, if you guys have felt the presence of, think you have had a close encounter with the dead, somebody who has died or whatever, a ghost, we would love to know. Please write us. We are fond of all of these stories, and
Yes, we are. Yeah.
they don't have to be as it was your dad, your mom, my grandma. It's they also have good ghosts. It's not have to be the bad ghosts like in the movies, a poltergeist, and they're gonna kill you or chase you with a chain. Nah, they can be nice people. It can be people that you loved and they come to say goodbye. So I think it's fantastic. And if somebody wants to share some of those stories, we would really, really, really appreciate it.
That's right.
Jorge,
And if you want to
anything?
appreciate it, just send it to appreciate it to send it to us, please. Send it to the did you say Spanish loops at gmail.com?
No, but that's the one you have to send
That's
to.
the one you have to share it to, yeah.
Thank you
And
very much.
well, Francisco and everybody else out there, if next time that you find yourself in an ancient castle anywhere in Europe and especially in Spain, or a shadowy alley, or an empty hotel hallway in Spain, just remember some of those ghosts might still be around waiting for their next visitor. Ooh. Sweet dreams.
Twilight Zone. Anyway, so everybody, thank you for listening to us. If you have enjoyed this podcast, it would be amazing if you give us a thumb up. And subscribe to our channel. Could be YouTube, could be Spotify, Amazon Prime, whatever you are listening us with. Thank you very, very much, Jorge. I shall see you next week.
Yes, we'll be here next week. Adios, Francisco, and everybody. Bye-bye.
Adios, amigos.
And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast, no spaces, all together. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.